Heavenly Message revealed 7 divine insights for your supernatural transformation today. In the heart of the quaint English village of Ashford, whispers of the divine danced through the air. A golden light enveloped the ancient chapel, where generations had gathered beneath its sturdy stone arches to seek solace and hope. On one particularly fateful night, the cries for help rose towards the heavens, echoing the desperate plea of a devoted woman named Grace. Her beloved son, Jacob, lay frail and fraught with illness, a terminal diagnosis that shattered her world like fragile glass underfoot. As the villagers assembled in the flickering warmth of candlelight, they held their breath, uniting in prayer to their cherished Saint Jude, the patron of lost causes. The very air vibrated with faith as they beseeched him for a miracle. Suddenly, amidst the heartfelt murmurs, a powerful sensation washed over Grace. She felt a warmth envelop her, a palpable whisper from above, promising a miraculous recovery for Jacob. It was a spark of hope igniting a fire in her heart. "Healing is at hand," she proclaimed, her voice straining to break free of her fears and doubts. But even as she spoke those words, a shadow of uncertainty loomed overhead, casting doubt upon her belief. Could this be true? Her husband, David, skeptical and firmly anchored in reason, voiced his concerns. "Grace, it's just wishful thinking," he said, a furrow in his brow. Their clash of faith versus logic weighed heavily on her soul, even as the chapel pulsed with divine expectancy. As villagers began to rally around Grace, her heart fluttered with anticipation. "We believe with you, Grace," they exclaimed, filling the space with fervent prayers. Yet in the back of her mind was a haunting whisper of skepticism. Grace stood at the crossroads of faith and doubt, holding tightly to the glimmer of hope she had so resolutely grasped. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into anxious hours, prayers floating up as stars flickered in the night sky. Just when despair felt suffocating, tragedy struck, the very thing all had feared. Jacob's condition worsened, and the shadows of hopelessness crept in. Grace felt herself crushed under the intensity of grief. Yet, in a moment of desperation, she gathered her friends for an impromptu prayer session. As they clasped hands, a bolt of serenity surged through the room, an inexplicable brilliance illuminating their faces. In that instant, a miracle unfurled. Jacob's eyes fluttered open, life flooding back into his frail body. Gasps of disbelief filled the chapel as word spread like wildfire throughout the village. An impossible healing. Jacob sat up, smiling wide, radiating life and joy. The miraculous event shattered the veneer of doubt and drew the villagers into a collective re-examination of their beliefs. Yet, as the miracle settled in their hearts, a question echoed in Grace's soul. Was this a mere sign of healing, or rather a divine summons to dig deeper into their faith? With every flicker of hope came a fresh wave of uncertainty as the village stood on the brink of transformation. As the spirit stirred and the congregation embraced this extraordinary moment, Grace felt the weight of an unresolved question. What was God truly asking of them in their journey of belief? The air was thick with anticipation, leaving everyone, most of all Grace, anxiously awaiting the next unfurling of divine intervention. The sun rose over Ashford, casting rays of golden light through the open windows of the chapel. It felt as if the heavens themselves had awakened. Grace, still in awe of Jacob's miraculous recovery, found herself wandering through the village, her heart lighter yet filled with questions. The faces of the villagers radiated joy, but in her soul, something stirred, a call to deeper understanding of this newfound miracle. As she walked, she noticed women washing clothes by the river, men tending to their farms, and children chasing each other in playful laughter. Their smiles felt different today, touched by the light of divine possibility. Could it be, she wondered, that this healing was more than just for Jacob, but for all of us? Gathering at the chapel again, the faithful united in prayer. The walls echoed with voices of prayer, each verse and hymn lifted like an offering. The once quiet sanctuary pulsed with life. Grace stood at the forefront, still grappling with the weight of expectation pressing down on her. As their voices rose, the atmosphere thickened with an unexplainable energy. Grace felt it. A tingling warmth spread through her, wrapping her in love. Suddenly, an elder named Mary stood up from the back of the chapel, her hands trembling, eyes bright with revelation. Brothers and sisters, God is moving among us. We have been given a gift, not just for Jacob, but for all our hearts. We must not turn back to doubt, but act on this miracle. The congregation murmured, their hearts quickening. Mary's words opened a door in Grace's mind. What if this miracle was an invitation to transform their lives, to embrace a faith that activated the power of God? Perhaps the healing was a reminder that every soul in Ashford had a purpose, a calling to something greater. Let us each share our own burdens here today, Grace said, her voice steady, filled with sincerity. For too long, silence has cloaked our struggles. Let us lay them before the Lord together. With that, a wave of honesty washed over the chapel. Villagers began illness, loss, heartache, each story unearthing pain long buried. But along with their unveiling came a revival of hope, igniting the power of their testimonies. The air shifted. The sacred space grew alive with a palpable sense of togetherness. Grace felt tears stream down her cheeks as the collective voices turned from fear to faith, from individual strife to mutual support. It was a powerful reminder of communal strength, one that united them under the canopy of divine love. Then Grace's heart softened with gratitude. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, her heart aflame, "for bringing us together during this time of trial. May we not forget the lessons we learn here today." But as the energy crescendoed, an unsettling question danced in the back of her mind. Was the miracle they had witnessed the beginning of something more profound? Was Jacob's healing meant to catalyze an awakening, not just within their hearts, but in the wider world? The collective sentiment rippled through the congregation as Grace resolved to seek answers. What was the next step in this divine journey? A firm belief began to take root. Grace sensed that actions must follow their prayers. "Change is needed," she declared, her spirit thrumming with possibility. "But what, Lord? What comes next?" As the congregation left the chapel, their hearts aglow with hope, Grace knew they had embarked on a journey. Each one now asked to step out of their comfort zones and embrace a greater calling. The whispers of the divine were intensifying, beckoning them forth into the unknown. A new chapter awaited, filled with divine purpose. What would they discover as they stepped into their faithful calling? The path before them shimmered with uncharted mystery. As the last echoes of prayer faded in the chapel, Grace stepped outside, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin. It was as if the world had been painted anew, each leaf and petal sparkling with divine affirmation. She glanced back at the chapel, now filled with laughter and shared burdens, each life thread woven tighter together in faith. Uncertainty remained, yet within it there flickered a spark of excitement. "Where do we go from here?" she mused quietly, her heart racing with possibilities. The village of Ashford, once so familiar, now seemed alive with purpose. She could almost hear the whispers in the breeze, calling her to explore the realms of faith that lay just beyond her grasp. With a gentle nod to the villagers around her, Grace made her way toward the river, hoping the calming sound of flowing water might still her restless spirit. As she approached the water's edge, she spotted Mary seated on a log, reflection dancing in her eyes. "Mary," Grace called softly, joining her. "I felt something shift in all of us today. It's as if we've touched a divine wellspring. But how do we make sure we don't lose this momentum?" Mary turned, a wise smile breaking across her face. "Ah, dear child, it is merely the beginning. Miracles are the divine's invitations, not destinations. What truly matters is the journey that follows. We must gather our families and neighbors, share this spirit of renewal, extend what has been ignited within us." Grace nodded, passion stirring within her. "You mean we should meet again? Share our testimonies? Encourage each other?" Grace asked, the ideas swirling in her mind. "Yes, and more. We can create a space for everyone. Let families bring their hardships while we work together to lift one another's burdens. It's vital to let this miracle echo beyond the walls of the chapel," Mary replied, her eyes glimmering with fervor. The thought ignited something deep inside Grace. A community gathering, and we could include music, food, moments of worship, all of it. As the excitement grew, Grace could feel the weight on her heart transform into clarity. She could envision villagers sharing laughter and stories, hearts united in gratitude and joy. It could become a powerful testimony of God's work in our lives. Mary's laughter rang out like a bell, light and freeing. "Indeed, if this miracle is to spread, we must share it. We must encourage our neighbors, not just in celebration, but in support." "But what if they doubt?" Grace asked. A flicker of apprehension crept into her heart. "Doubt is a bridge, Grace, not a barrier," Mary mused, her gaze steady. "It can lead to deeper faith when handled with love and patience. Remember, miracles challenge us to rise." As they spoke, villagers began gathering near the riverbank. The air was alive with chatter and laughter, drawing Grace's attention. People were instinctively coming together, spilling the joy of the breakthrough that had happened within them. With a newfound boldness, Grace began sharing her vision, her voice mingling with the excitement of the crowd. One step at a time, she saw awareness blossom as hesitant expressions shifted to eager enthusiasm. The sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue over their gathering, a heavenly glow illuminating the path of community renewal. Grace knew they were on the verge of something sacred, a shift that could ripple out into the world around them. She glanced at Mary, who nodded in silent support, their hearts synchronized in purpose. What had begun in the chapel held the potential to flourish for every soul in Ashford. But still, there was an unexplored depth calling them, deeper than even they realized. "Lord, what will it take?" Grace whispered as she closed her eyes, seeking clarity in the soft sound of flowing water. Then a stirring movement caught her attention. A shadow passed overhead, something magnificent hidden within the twilight sky. What could it be? With every heartbeat, anticipation grew, as if the heavens were ready to reveal yet another miracle. The gathering by the river was electric, a tapestry woven from laughter, hope, and shared faith. Grace felt an inexplicable bond with every soul around her, each unique yet bound by the invisible threads of divine promise. As her attention turned back to the shadow in the sky, it transformed, gliding gracefully against the backdrop of pink and gold. It grew clearer, a bird, majestic and wise, its wings outstretched like an invitation to soar. It circled above them before swooping down to land near the water's edge, a vibrant presence amid the mundane. "Look," Grace pointed, her voice a blend of wonder and excitement. "It feels like a sign." The villagers turned, captivated, their conversations fading as they gathered closer to witness this sight. The bird, a stunning white dove, strutted gracefully, its feathers shimmering in the warm light. Mary stepped closer, her eyes shimmering with delight. "The dove signifies peace, Grace. It is a heavenly messenger," she exclaimed, the significance almost palpable among them. A hushed reverence fell over the crowd. Grace's heart swelled. In nature's offerings, she found confirmation of their purpose. They were indeed on the verge of something magnificent, an echo of the divine reflected in their very midst. "Perhaps we should take this as a cue for our gathering," Mary suggested, her voice soft yet charged with intention. "Let the dove be our symbol of peace and transformation. We can dedicate this new venture to spreading hope." Grace's mind raced with plans. "We can create a space not just for food and music, but a sanctuary for healing. We can hold sessions for prayer, story sharing, even community service to extend our grasp beyond ourselves." Nods and murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd, hearts responding to Grace's passion. They could be more than a congregation. Together, they could become a movement, a testament to love reaching outward. Yet a question remained. How far would this peace extend? Could they address the deeper wounds that ran through their community's fabric? A young man stepped forward, hesitating slightly before delivering his thoughts. "What do we do about those who can't see the light, the ones holding on to their pain because it feels easier?" His brow furrowed, his vulnerability echoing in the open air. Grace paused, the weight of his words piercing through the excitement. "You're right," she admitted. "Some may feel lost or fearful. How do we approach that?" "Kindness," Mary interjected. "We approach with love, firm, unwavering, yet gentle. They may only need to see that the path out of darkness is illuminated by compassion and community." Suddenly, the dove fluffed its feathers and cooed softly as if in agreement. Grace smiled, buoyed by her companion's willingness to embrace those hesitant souls. A ripple of enthusiasm washed over the group again, emphasizing the heart of their mission. They could be more than a congregation. Together, they could become a movement, a testament to love reaching outward. Yet a question remained. How far would this peace extend? Could they address the deeper wounds that ran through their community's fabric? A young man stepped forward, hesitating slightly before delivering his thoughts. "What do we do about those who can't see the light, the ones holding on to their pain because it feels easier?" His brow furrowed, his vulnerability echoing in the open air. Grace paused, the weight of his words piercing through the excitement. "You're right," she admitted. "Some may feel lost or fearful. How do we approach that?" "Kindness," Mary interjected. "We approach with love, firm, unwavering, yet gentle. They may only need to see that the path out of darkness is illuminated by compassion and community." Suddenly, the dove fluffed its feathers and cooed softly as if in agreement. Grace smiled, buoyed by her companion's willingness to embrace those hesitant souls. A ripple of enthusiasm washed over the group again, emphasizing the heart of their mission. They would encourage the ones on the fringes, share the joy of renewal, and invite everyone along this journey of faith. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sky darkening with deep hues, Grace understood with clarity that every heart could be a vessel for divine transformation. But one question lingered, something unfurling like the wings of the dove overhead. "Lord," she whispered, looking upward, "what more must we uncover to truly wrap our arms around Ashford?" As if in response, the cool breeze picked up, carrying with it whispers of a deeper calling. The villagers felt a stir in the air, a promise lingering on the edge of night. Perhaps, just perhaps, their community was destined for even greater miracles yet unseen. What awaited them in the shadows of the coming dawn? As the last light of day melted into twilight, a soft stillness wrapped around the villagers. There stood Grace, with the dove calmly posing beside her, a symbol of hope they had eagerly embraced. Yet, as the stars pierced the indigo sky above, there was an undeniable thrill in the air, as though the heavens themselves were leaning in to listen. "We must bring everyone together," Grace declared, her voice steady and full of passion. "Let's gather once more tomorrow at the river. Let us invite everyone to share their burdens and their stories. Together, we can create something beautiful." A gentle murmur of agreement coursed through the crowd, a wave of excitement that seemed to ripple like the water before them. People were drawn to the idea of unity, the spark of possibility igniting in their hearts. Mary's face lit up. "We can set up a table by the water's edge, a place of sharing where questions can be asked and minds opened. There's power in gathering." Just then, the dove bobbed its head once, a sure sign of affirmation. The gathered folk chuckled softly, a shared understanding that nature was a part of their growing story. But there lingered a heaviness in the air as one voice broke through the laughter. An elderly lady shuffled forward, her hands trembling slightly. "And what of those who've given up? The silence of their pain echoes louder than our cries for hope. How do we reach them?" Her words hung heavy, drawing a hush over the circle. Grace stepped forward, heart aching at the thought of those lost to despair. "We pray for them, but we must also seek them out. In love, as Mary suggests, we can be the hands that reach into those shadows." A young girl barely in her teens piped up with a bright spark of determination. "We can create a kindness card, a note of comfort for those who are hurting. Small, heartfelt, just to show someone that they care, that they are not alone." The ripple of enthusiasm erupted again, weaving a shared dream, bright sparks igniting within each heart. Grace could see it, bright visions of what could emerge from their unity. The dove flapped its wings, sending up a soft cloud of dust that shimmered in the fading light. It was a sign of something greater, and in that moment, Grace felt her breath stolen away. God was indeed present among them. Later, as darkness fully enveloped Ashford, Grace found a quiet corner by the riverbank. Kneeling down, she closed her eyes and lifted her heart. "Father," she whispered, "lead us. Show us the path for all those marked by sorrow. Illuminate the shadows and give us strength to carry your light in a world desperate for hope." Suddenly, a whisper of wind danced through the trees, wrapping around her like a loving embrace. It was a whisper that stirred her soul. "They will come, the ones in need. Trust in your purpose." Her eyes fluttered open, filled with renewed vigor and hope. Back by the congregation, laughter mingled with shared stories, and the air felt electric once more. Hearts beating in rhythm, they were a mosaic of faith. But the deeper question shimmered just out of reach in the folds of the luscious night. What was to become of their budding mission? How would they navigate the unseen obstacles, the hearts that had grown cold and distant? Grace could feel the anticipation crackling, beckoning to the unknown future. What awaited them at the river tomorrow? What miracles would unfold in response to their daring invitation? And as the dove took flight once more into the night sky, its outline becoming a beacon against the stars, one thought echoed within Grace's heart. God was already at work, even now, preparing them for the immeasurable wonders ahead. Was it possible that their tomorrow would bring an unveiling of unimaginable grace? As dawn unfolded with the gentlest of whispers, the village of Ashford awoke to a new day. The river sparkled like diamonds scattered across a vast blanket of blue. Grace stood at the riverbank, the water gliding past with a purposeful flow. Her heart danced within her chest. The gathering loomed before her like a promise fulfilled. Mary bustled about, arranging the table adorned with vibrant flowers and kindness cards. Each card held a piece of heartfelt encouragement crafted with love. The scent of fresh blooms mixed with the crisp morning air sharpened Grace's thoughts. She could feel the expectation among her neighbors, a collective yearning that thrummed beneath the surface. "Today is special," Mary said, her fingers deft as she tied ribbons around each card. Each card held a piece of heartfelt encouragement crafted with love. The scent of fresh blooms mixed with the crisp morning air sharpened Grace's thoughts. She could feel the expectation among her neighbors, a collective yearning that thrummed beneath the surface. "Today is special," Mary said, her fingers deft as she tied ribbons around each card. "It feels like we are on the brink of unveiling something extraordinary." Grace nodded, her spirit buoyed by Mary's enthusiasm. "It is a day of stories, of connection. Let us listen with open hearts." As the villagers began to arrive, excitement crackled in the air. Faces brightened with smiles, hands waved, and laughter echoed all around. Grace's heart warmed, each familiar expression rekindling the ties that bound them together. An elderly man, John, shuffled to the gathering, leaning heavily on his cane. "I've brought some of my best fishing tales," he said, a glimmer of spirit in his eyes. "They've always made me feel lighter. Maybe they will help others." "Wonderful," Grace exclaimed, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Your stories will remind us that there is always more to life than our troubles." Little by little, the circle grew, each story woven together into a larger tapestry of shared experience. They formed a rhythmic exchange of laughter, some tearful reflections, and the gentle sharing of burdens. Grace's heart soared as she watched the walls built by sorrow begin to crumble. Yet, behind all the joy, an unanswered question lingered in the air. Where were those who remained hidden? Those who carried the weight of despair so deeply that inviting them still felt like an impossible dream. "They may come," whispered a voice from within her. It felt strangely comforting, echoing the whisper she had received by the riverside the night before. "But we must create a space where they feel safe." Just then, through the gathering sounds came a timid voice from the fringes. A young woman approached, her eyes downcast, almost hesitant. I heard about the gathering. Is it okay if I join?" Her words trembled like leaves in a gentle autumn breeze. Grace stepped forward, reaching out. "You are most welcome. Here we share all parts of our journeys, joys and sorrows alike." A flicker of relief crossed the young woman's face as she stepped into the circle. With each story shared, courage blossomed in the hearts of those who felt lost. Burdens were shared, laughter mingled with tears, and slowly a wave of connection flowed through them. In this sacred moment, Grace realized it was never just about the gathering. They were building a family, a sanctuary where silence transformed into song and despair turned into embrace. An invisible thread held them together, binding their souls closer in a web of divine love. Yet, lingering still was the question: would they be able to draw in those who felt isolated, those encumbered by hopelessness? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the river in vibrant hues, Grace felt a surge of promise welling within her. She lifted her voice in prayer for divine direction, for guidance in a world that remained uncertain. "Father," she prayed, her heart wide open, "show us how to find those in darkest places, those we may not yet see." And as the last rays of light danced over the water, she felt something profound begin to stir. Tomorrow's grace awaited them. Even now, ripples of transformation began to form. What awaited them in the shadows? What doors would open as they ventured deeper into the mission set before them? Grace could hardly wait to discover the unfolding adventure ahead, knowing it was only the beginning of their journey into a profound transformation. What miracles would dawn as they sought to reach every soul? With the sky transitioning from gold to deep indigo, Grace felt a heaviness settle over the gathering. The laughter had softened, as if a gentle breeze was urging the villagers to pause and reflect. She realized this was not just a time of shared stories. It was a moment infused with anticipation, a call to delve deeper into the mysteries of their hearts. "Think about the voices unspoken, the hearts unheard," she addressed. The crowd, her voice steady yet gentle. "What if today is not just about sharing our joys and tears, but about listening for the whispers of those who might still be lost?" Mary stood closely beside her, nodding in agreement. "Yes, let's not forget those we still need to embrace. We can offer more than just our words. We can offer our presence and our love." As the sun began its descent, the air thickened with a sacred charge. Grace closed her eyes, picturing the faces of those who had yet to discover this little sanctuary by the river. She envisioned the shadows where they lingered, caught in their battles. Suddenly, a vision flooded her mind, a gathering not only filled with the familiar, but vibrant and inviting, calling everyone home. "Do you sense it?" she asked, arms outstretched to the crowd. "Do you feel the pull to venture into the shadows, to shine light where it's needed most?" A quiet murmur arose from those present, an unspoken agreement forming. It was as if a collective heartbeat echoed through the group, intertwining their intentions. "A shared prayer of hope," Grace continued, inviting the congregation into a sacred moment of unity. "Let's lift up the unspoken souls and ask for them to be drawn to us. Let our words travel like seeds upon the wind, finding fertile ground in the hearts of the weary." As their voices intertwining in prayer filled the air, Grace felt tears welling in her eyes, a mix of sorrow and joy. Each word seemed to send ripples across the river, each heartbeat echoing with divine intention. In that moment, she caught something remarkable in the air. A flicker of light emerged, danced above the water, and vanished just as quickly. "What was that?" John spoke, his voice quivering with a mixture of awe and curiosity. "I don't know," Grace replied, her heart racing, "but I believe something significant is unfolding." After the prayer, there was a stillness that settled over the gathering, filled with an abiding peace, a powerful reminder of their purpose. They huddled closer, sharing not just their joys, but their vulnerabilities and struggles. It was a tapestry of faith, threaded through dreams and fears, revealing the beauty of their shared humanity. As they sat, a figure appeared in the distance. The village seemed to hold its breath as the silhouette took form. A man in worn clothes approached with a hesitant gait, uncertainty etching his features. It was clear he hadn't been part of their circle before. I saw the glow," he stammered, glancing at the gathering, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'd like to share my story too." With hearts racing and eyes wide open, Grace and the villagers instinctively welcomed him. The light of their gathering flickered yet again, as if illuminating even the darkest corners. What was the significance of this moment? Was he merely a stranger, or did he carry a message from the very heart of their prayers? As the man stepped forward, both courage and faith filled the air, reminding them that the journey was about to take an unexpected turn, one that might reveal even more than they ever imagined. What was God preparing to show them next? The man paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes as he caught the gaze of the villagers. Grace could almost feel the weight of his story pressing against the surface of his lips, a story he was ready to share, yet feared the reception. "What's your name?" she asked softly, leaning in closer. It was important for him to feel seen, to know he was in a safe space. "Thomas," he replied, his voice trembling, as if the sound of his own name was foreign to him. "I've come from the edge of the forest. I've lost my way. I thought I'd never find it again." At his words, murmurs of empathy rippled through the crowd. They understood. Every heart carries burdens, and every wanderer seeks a way home. Thomas, you are welcome here. We are all finding our way in one way or another, Grace assured him, her own voice steady with warmth. Please tell us what has brought you to this moment. He took a deep breath, as though steeling himself against a rush of memories. I've been wandering in darkness and despair. The last few months were hard. I lost my job and I felt invisible. I didn't matter. But then, on my darkest nights, I would catch glimpses of a light that seemed to beckon me. I didn't know what it was. Grace glanced at the villagers, their faces reflecting compassion. She could see in their eyes the light of understanding. They had gathered to heal, to lift one another, just as he needed. That glow you saw, Thomas, Mary said, her voice pure and comforting. It represents hope. It is the promise that no one is truly lost. You've taken a brave step to come here today. That light has led you home. Just as she finished, a soft wind swirled around them, carrying a fragrant scent of blooming wildflowers. It felt like the breath of the spirit, cleansing, renewing. Grace closed her eyes, relishing the ethereal moment, the connection binding them all, as heartbeats synced with an unseen rhythm. Do you feel it? John spoke again, his usual bravado replaced by tender awe. The air gets charged with possibility when we share our truths. It's like we're all connected. Yes, Grace responded, her heart soaring with affirmation. This is the miracle of community. When we share, we not only lift ourselves, but one another. Thomas shifted nervously, but something within him seemed to ignite. I've always felt like I had nothing to offer, but now I see there's light within me too. I want to help others find their way, the way you all have helped me. A resounding cheer erupted from the group, voices intermixed in celebration. It was a moment where transformation was possible. Evident, where divine light found root in the hearts of the weary. Thomas was not alone anymore. He belonged. As laughter mingled with tears, Grace looked up at the towering trees that framed their gathering, each leaf shimmering with life. Let's continue to find the lost. Let's be the light. We can shine together. The energy shifted again, electric with new purpose. But deep in Grace's heart, a question lingered. Was this gathering just the beginning? What would their next steps be? She realized that even in joyous moments, a divine mystery remained. They were hearts set free, yet the questions of their journey had just begun to unfold. How could they further illuminate their community? What profound revelations awaited them on their path of service? As the laughter faded, a gentle hush fell over the assembly, a sacred silence that created space for wonder. Grace felt it in the air, a hint of something extraordinary about to unfold. It was as if the trees themselves leaned in closer, eager to witness what God was about to reveal. Thomas, she called softly, her voice cutting through the stillness. You mentioned that light guiding you. Can you tell us more about those moments? What did you feel when you saw it? Thomas blinked, his eyes growing distant. It was strange, he began, his voice imbued with a newfound strength. In those lonely nights, I would feel an ache, like an invisible hand stretching out. There was warmth in that light, a comfort that whispered, I am not alone. A wave of understanding washed over the villagers. They too had felt that warmth. Each soul in the circle had known their own version of darkness, the blank days when hope felt like a distant ember. Together, they formed a tapestry of shared experiences, each thread woven with the story of salvation. We are all bearers of light, Mary interjected, her eyes shining with passion. That glow within each of us is our testimony. Together, we can create a beacon for those still wandering. Grace felt the resonance of her words ripple through the gathering. What if we began to share our stories even more? Each one of us has a unique journey, And through those narratives, we can become guides for others. In moments like this, hearts aligned. They stood on holy ground. Their breaths echoed with intention, a desire to ignite change in their community. Grace could visualize the branches of the ancient trees as arms outstretched toward the heavens, bearing witness to their resolve. "I know there are many in the village who feel lost," John added, his brow furrowed with compassion. "What if we hold gatherings, stories shared, burdens lifted? We can show them they're not invisible." "Yes," Grace beamed, feeling a surge of enthusiasm. "Let us be the ones who create that space, who reach out and draw others in, a place where vulnerability fosters healing." The idea washed over her like a wave, energizing the villagers. They felt the Spirit moving among them, a divine encouragement to step forward. But while excitement brewed, a lingering question pressed against Grace's heart. What if this calling led them to even deeper revelations? As if sensing her thoughts, Mary spoke again, her voice soft yet powerful. What if our own stories take us to places we never imagined? Sometimes God's plans stretch far beyond our own comprehension. The air shifted with expectancy. It was as if the heavens were listening, ready to unveil the next chapter of their journey. "We have been waiting for such a time," Grace urged, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Together, we can embrace the mystery of our paths. Who knows what transformation awaits?" In that moment, hope wove itself through their hearts, a golden thread binding them to the possibility of divine intervention and heartfelt unity. Yet, in the midst of all this wonder, a still voice beckoned Grace to look ahead, whispering questions that hinted at something greater. What if they stepped beyond their comfort zones, risking everything to reach out? How would their village truly change? Grace could feel the questions hang in the air, pregnant with potential as they stood on the brink of discovery. Could they be brave enough to follow that light, not just within themselves, but shared amongst all? Would their commitment illuminate paths to redemption, even for those living in shadows? The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over Ashford. Grace stood before the gathered villagers, her heart racing with anticipation. The air felt charged, as if every whisper of wind carried echoes of past prayers and budding dreams. Today was different. Today marked the moment they would step into the divine calling together. "Brothers and sisters," she began, her voice ringing clear and strong, "we have witnessed miracles and shared stories that warmed our hearts. But now we stand on the edge of an invitation to become beacons of hope and love in our community." The villagers leaned closer, eyes shining with curiosity and determination. Grace sensed their collective heartbeat, a unified pulse that resonated with possibility. Just as Thomas discovered the light that guided him from despair, let us become that guiding light for others. We'll gather every week to share our struggles, our triumphs, and our journeys of faith. Let's lay the foundations of a caring community where no one feels lost or invisible. A murmur of agreement washed over them, affirming the idea like a wave crashing onto the shore. Mary smiled boldly, her eyes twinkling with promise. "Let us set a date, a weekly gathering with stories, laughter, and healing." Excitement bubbled within the crowd, igniting passionate chatter. Grace felt the warmth of revelation coursing through her. There was no halt to their spirit. The divine was ushering them toward a grand adventure. Each week, she shared, we'll invite new faces, individuals who feel the weight of grief or loneliness. We'll create a space where every story is valued, allowing healing to flow among them. "Us like a river." The idea caught fire in the hearts of the villagers, their spirits soaring with newfound motivation. John's voice boomed over the excitement. "Let us spread the word through flyers, word of mouth, or even music. We can create a buzz about our gatherings, welcoming those in need of light." The crowd echoed with enthusiasm and resolution. Hands clasped together, and laughter danced upon the air like notes in a joyous hymn. Each person present felt empowered, ready to reach out and extend kindness beyond their circle. But as the moment shimmered with possibilities, Grace sensed a heaviness looming. Was this momentum all it seemed? Her heart carried a question, a whisper urging her to seek deeper understanding. "Lord," she breathed, her thoughts a soft plea, "help us transcend our fears. May we courageously step into the shadows, inviting others to share in this light." As evening turned to night, the villagers began to disperse, laughter echoing down the cobbled streets, hope guiding their way. Yet Grace stood rooted by the riverbank, the last whispers of twilight weaving around her. A sudden hush enveloped the village. A beautiful stillness echoed, as if the entire earth drew a breath, leaving Grace feeling electric with anticipation. The air shimmered, whispering promises of what was to come. From the forest emerged a subtle brightness, a flicker of light merging with the shadows. Grace's heart quickened. She knew this sign wouldn't be ignored. A figure slowly appeared, a woman, weary yet radiant, her presence illuminating the path ahead. "Excuse me," the woman's voice trembled, her eyes darting between the villagers gathered in wonder. "I heard laughter and stories. Is it too late for me to join?" Grace stepped forward, her heart surging with warmth. "Absolutely not. You are always welcome here. Each life matters, and yours is a part of this community." The woman's shoulders relaxed, and a tear slipped down her cheek. "I've been searching for something, anything. I feel lost in my own life and had no place to turn." Grace enveloped her in a gentle embrace. "You'll find light among us. Together we'll lift one another. We're creating a family banished from despair." Laughter and encouragement sparked around them, filling the air with renewed energy. The villagers surged forward, welcoming her with open arms and loving hearts. In this sacred moment, Grace knew they were building something lasting. They were crafting a foundation of faith meant to withstand any storm. As they lit candles in honor of their gathering, Grace closed her eyes again in prayer. "Lord, bless this new journey. May our doors always be open, our hearts receptive. Let each soul who arrives know they are loved and cherished." The golden light from the candles danced like a chorus of angels, filling the night with divine presence. It was here, in this act of simple kindness, that Grace felt the weight of the world begin to lift from her shoulders. They were sowing seeds of hope, tending to each other's needs. Wounds while nurturing every budding journey. This new venture was no longer just a dream, it was their calling. God was leading them beyond mere miracles. He was welcoming them into a movement. As dawn crested over Ashford days later, the river shimmered, reflecting the commitment each villager had made to spread light. They stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to embrace every heart that wandered through their doors. Grace felt an overwhelming wave of joy wash over her. "Let's illuminate the world with our love," she shouted, and the villagers erupted in cheers. It was more than just a gathering. It was the beginning of a legacy grounded in love, forged in faith, and anchored in community. They were ready to face the unknown together, sprouting from a single spark into a blaze that would change their village forever. As the winding journey unfolded, they would witness miracles unimagined, a beautiful testament to the power of their faith, deeply rooted in connection. Grace smiled, knowing this was the manifestation of divine promise. Together, they were a force to behold. Join them on this new adventure. If you believe in the power of community and support, subscribe immediately to ensure you don't miss these divine stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the light. Comment below with your reactions and testimonies about this heartwarming journey. And don't wait even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this miraculous transformation. Only true servants of God understand the importance of uplifting one another.